Sup fellas, it's your boy Flux, bringing you guys a one-way smoke guide to the brand new map, Ascent. All the one-way smokes found in this guide are highly effective and relatively easy to learn, minimal jumping required, so players of all skill levels can benefit from this, beginners especially, since in the video I'm going to show you how to throw the smoke, why the smoke is effective in and of itself, and I'm going to show you how to play around these smokes to make sure that you net the maximum amount of kills possible. So, with all that out of the way, let's get into the vid. Alright gamers, starting out this guide, we're going to be learning the B platform one way. So come up to this wall, look straight down. You'll notice these two papers with these two cobblestones. You want to put your crosshair between the two cobblestones while hugging the wall, like so. Afterwards, look up at the sign up there, it should say Pesco. You want to put your crosshair between the C and the O in the sign, like that. And you want to bring your crosshair down to the corner of the archway where the side of the archway meets the bottom. So where the white portion of the arch meets the black portion, or the underside. And you want to bust out your smoke. So again, let's do this with a rifle so you guys can see it in real time. Up between the C and the O, down to where the arches form a corner. Bust out the toxic orb and just click it in regularly. Should get caught on the ledge like so, and it creates a nice little one way for you where the enemy can't actually see you up until they swing super wide into that corner. Again, let's cosplay as the enemy for a moment. I can't see anything unless I swing super wide, and if I'm holding a tight angle as the defender, they can't see me whatsoever. As the defender who threw this, make sure you're not too far exposed because again, they can see you in the corner, so tighten that angle up, activate the smoke, and shoot out their feet. Moving on to the mid-arch one-way, what you want to do is hop up on this planter, like so. Look over at the arches, you will notice a very small line right there, towards the top of the arch. You want to put your crosshair roughly 1/3 of the way into the arch, like there. Not at the halfway point, but just a kiss shy. And at that point you can throw your toxic orb. It's relatively easy to line up with a rifle, it's just difficult to see on video. So again, putting the crosshair 1/3 of the way into that small line, pulling out the orb, and tossing it like that. Gets caught in the dude's chin, pretty epic, and gives you a really nice one-way looking into mid. Regardless of where they stand, you will be able to see them even if they're hugging the back wall. If they're trying to cross on the catwalk, you can shoot them on the cross, and if they try pushing you, you should net some of the easiest kills in your life. Alternatively, the attackers can't see you whatsoever simply because you're up on the staircase, so if they try returning fire, it's all going to be 100% blind. Alright fellas, on to the hardest yet most useful smoke in this entire guide. It is the God Smoke, aka the mid B smoke from Cat. So come into this corner by A site by the mechanical door with the switch and look up at this skinny black tree branch. Beside it you'll notice a gap in the leaves which creates the letter H like this. You'll notice that the leaf which makes up the H is kind of pointy right here. So this is the pointy leaf. You want to put your crosshair at the tip of the pointy leaf like so, and then bring it up so that it's touching the leaf above it like that. So from the pointy leaf up to the second leaf like that. Again, this is really difficult to do with a rifle, so it's going to take a bit of practice. So again, grab the phantom, locate the H-shaped branch or the gap, put your crosshair on the point, and then angle it up towards the second leaf above the point. After that, you can feel free to jump and you will throw it. So again, go into custom match and practice this a couple of times. Should land on this ledge every single time because it's a relatively accurate smoke in that regard. So from here, toggle the smoke, get some free kills. The enemy can't see you, but you can see half their hitbox. The only spot they can see you is the deep corner, but even then they only see a very small portion of you, and if they're not opping, it's a very difficult shot for them to hit. So let's have a look at what the terrorists, or I guess the attackers, see, because it's not semantically correct. But anyways, so see, if they're in the corner, they can barely see you, and aside from being in the corner, if they're anywhere else, they can't see anything. So this is the only safe spot. And again, if you hold a tight enough angle up here on catwalk, they actually can't see you because again, your model is obscured by the wall. So don't hold out here. Toggle the smoke and then tighten the angle so that you can't see the corner like that. You get free kills every single time, and if you do see them walk into the corner real quick, you can just hit them with the easy flick shot. So since this smoke is very difficult to see, and I have a fucking Minecraft crosshair making it even less clear, let's look at it one more time. So locate the H in the trees, put your crosshair on the tip of the pointy leaf, aim up so your crosshair touches the second leaf above it, jump and then throw. Again, right there, that's the point. That's the second leaf you aim at. Again, I'm sure it's easier for you guys without these Minecraft crosshairs, but For me, it's a little difficult, so give this some practice. Very useful, very strong smoke. And again, one more time, on here, make sure you keep a nice tight angle. If you see them cross, easy flick shot. This smoke is also particularly useful to the mid-cat player because, again, he can just pivot the angle and shoot the guy if he happens to be in the corner. For the 8 arches one way, what you want to do is locate this oval brick amongst all the rectangular bricks. He kind of snuck in there though, he do be hiding. Anyways, that being said, hug the buy barrier, and you will notice that there's a V under this oval. You want to actually hug the buy barrier, look straight down, and make sure your crosshair is roughly at the center of this V. Afterwards, look up and locate this horizontal ledge. What you want to do is put your crosshair at any point on the bottom portion of the ledge, and you can jump and underhand it. You do, however, want to put it the Toxic Orb as close to the buy barrier as possible. So if you miss, you can jump and catch this, and then just give it another toss. So again, center of the V like so, looking up at the bottom of the ledge, and jump, right click, should get caught on the ledge every single time. This one way kinda goes crazy because you can utilize it from down on the site, or if you're up in heaven, it's a one way for both of those angles and the terrorists can't see you. So again, make sure the angle is relatively tight because there is a bit of a gap on the left side, so just play it smart and shoot some feet out. Given that you're holding a tight enough angle on the left side, the enemy won't be able to see you whatsoever, but you do get a free shot off on them, and even then, they won't be able to see your feet because you are concealed behind the box. As stated earlier, you can utilize this one way from up in heaven. Just make sure that you're hugging the close corner because they can cross all the way over to the left side and see you. So if you're playing on the opposite wide end of heaven, you will be seen relatively easily, but if you're holding close, the enemies won't be able to see you until they get over to those bullet holes which I marked in the wall. So see, nothing, move over to here. Alright, now they can kind of see you along that wall. So hug the short corner, get some free kills from up in heaven. If you're feeling a little more aggressive on the A site, what you can actually do is come over to this corner right here where the plywood is, bust out the smoke, look up at the clouds. There will be 2 tips, so this is tip number 1 right here, forms kind of an upside down triangle, and tip number 2 is over here, forms a sideways triangle. The point of tip number 1 is there, the point of tip number 2 is there, so again, you can form a 90-degree edge kind of from the 2 tips going upward. So put your crosshair between the edge formed by the 2 tips right there, I outlined it, and you can go ahead and throw your smoke regularly. This smoke's very easy, lands consistently, and it blocks off a heavy angle, so if you're holding tight, you will be able to shoot out their feet, and if they swing wide, they can't actually see you because the wall is in the way. So just a quick example, from the attacker's perspective, they can't see you, they swing wide, you're behind the wall because you're roughly here, and they can only see till there, so super useful smoke. Just make sure you're holding a tight enough angle so that you don't get your head knocked out, and you should be good. Free kills every single time. If you find yourself losing catwalk often when you're playing from A side, you can actually set up an emergency one way you can fall back to by lining up with this piece of metal on the wall and looking up at the inner line on the archway right there. I'm currently outlining it on the inner archway. Let me actually get an operator for you guys. There's 2 lines. Right here, there's the inner line, and right here, there's also an outer line beside it. You want to line up with the inner line, and not this guy, but this guy. Put your crosshair at the very end of it where the line meets the arch, I guess, the straight line, and you can just jump and underhand it onto the arch like so. This one is a personal favorite of mine simply because I enjoy playing cat, and if I manage to lose cat control, I can simply double back into this corner, throw up the one way which I already have set up at the start of the round, get some easy kills. Alternatively, if you don't enjoy playing catwalk, you can simply throw up the one way and wait for the enemies to come, and again, you won't have to move. The one way will most likely deter them from pushing you aggressively, meaning that you can get some straggler picks as they slowly walk in trying to clear angles. When they're pushing, they need to clear out this leftermost angle. They also need to look towards A site, which they can't see, and they also can't see you in your spot, so this smoke is extremely powerful. If you're expecting a heavy cat rush or you have a strong teammate who can anchor A side alone, you can actually play from secondary heaven, given that you have a way to slow the enemies down in this passageway. I usually throw up the door. If there's a Cypher, ask him to throw up the cyber cage. If there's a sage wall comes in handy. That being said, you can set up in this choke point at the second archway, given that you can get into this corner. Aim at any point along the black charcoal portion of the lamp. I prefer just aiming right at where it meets the wall, where the nub meets it. Jump, underhand a smoke, should get caught in the spiral. From here, this is more of a supporting role because you are kind of leaving your teammate to the sharks on the site, so I don't overly recommend this. But it is a relatively nice one way to catch people on the cross, or if they're trying to fire away at the sage wall or this metal door. as they shoot at this, you can shoot at their legs, because they may be lulled into a false sense of security when they can't see shit from here. Again, this is more of a supporting smoke, and you need to have a strong anchor on the A site, so I don't recommend doing this too often. That being said, you can't pelt them with bullets as they try knocking down the cage or the wall, and alternatively, if they do run past, you yourself can actually run up into heaven, shoot away at them, like so. If you wish to hold short cat, but also support your teammate who's holding B mid, what you can actually do is come up to the spawn barrier like so, and you will notice these lines in the metal along the ground. So there's 1, there's 2, and then third is the ending. What you want to do is go up to the ending portion where the metal meets the dirt. You can actually look down where metal meets metal and line it up like so. And at that point, you can look up towards the archway, once you're on the third line of course, and you will see 2 lines. Let me get rid of the spawn barrier because it makes it a little bit tricky to see. That being said, there's 2 lines, line 1, line 2. What you want to do is go up to line 2, 1 or 2 pixels off to the left, and 1 or 2 pixels above it. At that point, feel free to throw, and your smoke should bounce off the wall and land on the box, given that you threw it correctly. If you find that your smoke isn't landing on top of the box and it's falling short, just aim a kiss higher in regards to when you originally threw it, and you should be good. This angle lets you look down B mid and support your teammate, and it also lets you hold down short cat as well, preventing any rushes from happening. If you hear the enemy rushing you, or you find yourself getting pre-fired through your own smoke occasionally, what you can do is actually mix up the angle and play in the opposite corner like here. This also lets you throw down snake bites to prevent rushes, and it gives you a much wider clearance if multiple enemies are coming at you. The shots are easier to hit because they're spread out and they're all blind in the process. And yeah fellas, that more or less wraps up this one-way smoke tutorial to the new map, Ascent. If you guys found it useful, drop a like and let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you guys have feedback, hit me with it in the comments. And yeah, that more or less concludes everything. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. And with that fellas, my name is Flux. Thank you all for watching.